Hello and welcome to today's video. So this time we're going to be taking a look through my recent pickups for the month of April 2022. So without further ado, sit back, relax, and let's take a look. Okay, so we'll start with this one. They Fought for the Sky, Quinton Reynolds. Now, I've been able to get a little batch of pans from that old couple that I've been buying books off, and basically they've got quite a few, quite a few old books still to go through, and they sent me a photo of some of their pan books. They had a couple of hundred, and I found a few that I either needed or needed to upgrade. So this one, They Fought for the Sky. This was one in the X series that I didn't have at all. It's got a few insertions by the look of it. Heifers, yeah, they were a book chain, weren't they? That'll go in my vintage bookmark collection. I quite like collecting old bookmarks, actually. What's this? How to Care for Your Bellary. Get to know the girl with the Bellary badge. Helps you choose the right bra and girdle. Oh, that's just the thing I need. Oh, dear, oh dear. What's this? It's amazing what you find in books. Dr. J.P. Jackson, Cloverley. Look at that. Telephone 301. I mean, how old is that? I mean, how old is the book? Is it 60s or late 50s, 60s, I think? 1960, yeah. Honestly, well, I think I'll be keeping that. I don't think I'll keep the other two books somehow. Oh dear, that is really nice. So I'll slip that back inside because it's pretty groovy. Now this one I have already got. I've got all the numbered ones, but it is in a wrapper, which is quite unusual. And although the one I've got I think is also in a wrapper, it's not quite as nice as this. So any pan book in a wrapper is pretty scarce, to be honest. So I grabbed it while I had the opportunity. Underneath though, it does feels slightly, what's the word, like, well, that wrapper has never been off. It's a little bit sort of, I don't know, a little bit clammy maybe, I don't know, but there, look at that. First edition, 40p. Okay, I think we can safely get rid of that now. I think that was a veritable bargain if they bought that for 40p. See, with pans, I'm not strictly too worried about them all being first, because later editions have got different covers, and because the cover art is so gorgeous on a lot of these pans, I've got to the stage now where I am collecting later editions with different covers, because I've got all the firsts, but that's not a bad one, but evidently it wasn't selling well enough, so that's why they re-released it, or they issued it with a dust wrapper, because it just wasn't selling so well as is. Although, I mean, it doesn't really make a lot of difference, does it? But who can tell, eh? Who can tell what the reasoning was behind it? But it's still quite nice to have in a wrapper like that. This one I've definitely not got at all. It's not an upgrade, it's just one I haven't got. X300. I've got some of the Claudia books, I think. Yeah, look, 6 of the Claudia novels are now published, or now available in pan. I'm pretty sure I've got at least 2 or 3 of them, but not this one. 15p inside. Now, as I film this, I've sorted out 5 or 6 boxes of my swaps, and what I've decided to do, because it just seems impossible at the moment to get them all listed on eBay, there's just too many books to list individually, I've decided to do a video or two of books for sale. So I'm going to sort them into price point, and then it'll be all the books that we're going to go through in this video, and literally I'll go through them one by one, or I'll say $2.50 a book, or 5 for 10, or something like that. And it will be on a first come first serve, and as the books sell, I'll list the ones in a pinned comment just underneath the description, so you can, it will be like an online catalogue in a way, so help me clear some of my doubles. So always pleased to get this, the Pan Book of Crossword Puzzles. It's number 12. It has got a little bit of writing on the front, which when we give these a clean in a minute, a brush off and a polish, I'll have a go and see if I can get that off. But the crossword puzzle books with pan are quite scarce, you know. I think anyway, so not all of mine are first, although this one is. So I'm very pleased to have this one, another one which I hadn't got in my pan collection at all, because it's been a while since I picked up any new pan books. But I'm hoping, there's a little sort of stain as well, I'm hoping when we get to, we'll give them a brush off first, and then finally we'll give this lot of polish. I'm hoping that I might be able to get some of that writing off, because it is in pens, so you never know, you never know. Magnificent Obsession, there we are, Lloyd C. Douglas. Yeah, oh, and it's a PEF cover, that's excellent, he's one of my favourites. So yeah, so look out for those videos. So I'm happy to send the books anywhere around the world. So in the UK, you know, you've sort of got an idea of how much the postage is going to be on a parcel, but around the world it might be, you know, at cost, whatever we can come up with, the cheapest way. But I have sold books right around the world, so it's not going to be a big deal. And if you do like pound books, I've got quite a few to come. So this one's a reprint from 1966. But yeah, so I've got about, I don't know how many in total, definitely in the hundreds. So look out for those. This one I've also got, it's a reprint, but you could, I've picked it up because it's the template before the first pound book of horror stories. Same editor, Herbert Van Thal, Book of Strange Stories, and it is just like, it's like the pilot to the Pan Book of Horror Stories. That's a way to look at it. This one's a little bit tanned, but apart from that, it's got a lovely spine on it. Doesn't look like it's even been read, this one. First print, 1954. That's a really nice one. It is quite tanned, though, but it's a rarity. So I shall compare that one with the one that's already in my collection. And to be honest, I might even just keep it because I'm putting together a second set of Pan horror stories as a reading set, and if I've got a double, that might be perfect. But I have a feeling, even though that's a bit tanned, it might actually be better than the one that's currently in my collection. So that's pretty cool. And here's a non-pan. It's a Hutchinson Pocket Library, Lady Eleanor Smith's famous novel Ziegane. Nice wartime one, these. I've quite enjoyed collecting the Hutchinson Pocket Library lately, and I've got quite a run of them now. They're pretty good fun. I've got some doubles of these as well, which may be of interest to viewers. I said, when I do get around to doing that video, which is going to be filmed literally tomorrow as I film this, so it'll be coming up very, very soon, I'll have a few Hutchinsons included. I just need to make a little bit of room and reinvest the money into other things. And as I said, I've just not had time to photograph and list the books individually on eBay. But a lot of my prospective customers, I suppose, watch this channel anyway. They're interested in paperbacks, so I hope I can sell just collector to collector. That'll be fine. And as I said, I'm not going to want a lot because the aim of the game is to shift them. So job lots preferred, although I will sell individually. Here's another one which I was very pleased to get. I have once again already got this. It's the first ever Great Pan, and it's the double of Alice in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass. It's a really nice copy of this one, so I'm going to compare it to the one that I've got. But this is quite a valuable one, this. You know, potentially a few pounds. It's got a bit of writing in the front here, a little bit of Tipex, but still, apart from that, it's a pretty nice copy, that. And nice to have the first number in any series, really, isn't it? Yeah, nice stuff. Back to another pan now. I Was Cicero. Well, not me personally. Now that one's got a ring right on the front, which once again, I reckon a bit of polish is going to get that up. This is X307. Now I think I'm going to need to glue the top of that, so we'll do that in a minute. Let's just have a little look through. Big thick pages on this, that's unusual. Big thick pages. It looks like a thick book, but it's only 192 pages. The page quality is really good. Okay, well, let me get a little bit of glue in there. I'll use my Pretty sick. Only a little bit, but should be an easy fix. And then just pop that back up like so. There we are, look. Sorted. The being a black cover, very, very easily marked, those black covers. Now, he sent me this one, and I don't remember. It may be that this is on my list of ones to upgrade because my copy's particularly bad, but this one is also not fantastic. It's sort of borderline, to be honest, but it may be that it's still better than the one that I've got. So it needs to be a bit of, yeah, see, look, it's pretty rough. Pretty, in fact, look, oh, look, it has actually fallen to bits. So not so great, that one. Yes, I don't think, is it missing a page or two? I don't know, let's have a look. I will re-glue it back in, I think, while we're here. Now the way to do this, of course, is to pop another book underneath, like so. We can use that as a rest. Just to get a line of glue ourselves across the edge there, like that. I think we'll do a bit on that as well. But this one certainly has seen better days, but it's a rarity, and my existing copy is also pretty scarce, pretty beaten up rather, so we'll see how this compares against the one that I've got in my collection already, and obviously I'll keep the best one, but I wonder what it is. It must have just been the binding of this particular book that's historically made it not so good, you know. Okay, the second ghost book. Now, I really, really like these, but once again, a bit like the Pan Book of Horror Stories, I'd like to get a second set as reading copies, because I've got a really nice copy of this one, so I'm not sure if this is a first or not. Yeah, it is a first. They're pretty rare, these, and the first couple, 2 or 3, I think are particularly nice. I really like the cover of that one as well, the graveyard one. So, good stuff. Just looking at that now. That one also, I don't know if it just bent back a tiny little bit there, it's okay. Okay, so X167, The Best of Mikes. Definitely haven't got this one. He was also published in Penguin, this guy. George Mikes. Never read any. I think they were pretty much of their time, you know. 1962. I'm quite pleased to have them. It's not mint, but it's just still nice when you get books that aren't in your collection. Here's a nice one, a Toucan, number 8, Toucan number 8. I've been enjoying collecting the Toucan books. They're good fun. They don't turn up very often. There's the first 8 on the back there. So chances are this is probably a first one, a first edition. Once again, published as one of the offshoots of Hutchinson. 35p inside. So let's get that little 35p out. Like so. Lovely, that one's all right. And another one, another Hutchinson. This is great. It's really great title, Captain Blood, Raphael Sabatini, number 71. This one's in a wrapper as well, so we'll slip that little dust wrapper out. Give it a brush underneath. Look at that, lovely, isn't it? Nice tight copy that. In fact, I'd be tempted to say it's unread. So that is very, very nice in a wrapper, that one. Pleased to have that little bad boy. And once again, it's a Hutchinson I've not got, so it's filling a hole in the run. Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, complete wrapper on it as well. I mean, not that it's a fortune or anything like that, but it's a nice book to have that. I have seen some of these early Sabatinis sell for very good money online. Now, this next one was definitely an upgrade. It was my copy of the 39 Steps, the Pan First, is actually quite worn. This one, well, it's better than mine, shall we say, but it's still not great. But maybe because it's such a thin book and the time it was printed, it's just, not survived so well historically. But it's all there, and it is definitely better than the one I've got. Let's get the little 25 pence out. A few folded over corners and bits and bobs here. So this one itself is not in the greatest of shape, but he's not bad. It's not bad. Look at that. That'll do. That'll do. Right, a Guild book. So you're getting a real mixture of titles today. Once again, one I've not got. The Sailor's Return, David Garnett. Also in a dust wrapper. So that's... is it dust wrapper? No, it's dust wrapper flap. So a few publishers did that. With war coming in, they couldn't afford the actual dust wrappers, so they put it mock dust wrappers like a flap. So we'll get rid of the little 10 pence inside, like so. So I suppose, I mean, usually on my sort of recent pickup videos and that, I do sort of give you a little sort of state of my channel and that and what's coming up. So this last month has been bananas for me on YouTube. Really, I've had several videos seemingly out of the blue do obscenely well, much better than as usual. I don't know why. It just seems to be getting a lot of attention. It's brought a lot of new subscribers to the channel as well, which is great news. So it's always nice to sort of grow your audience, as it were. So if you are joining me for the first time, hello. I sort of did a little sort of talking head Star Wars video about the current state of collecting Star Wars in 2022 and the recent prices some of it's making, and that seemed to have gone down pretty well. And I've also a couple of weeks back received my Steam Deck that I pre-ordered back in July, and that's arrived, and I've loaded that one up with some emulators. That's another upgrade. Loaded it up with some emulators, which has also gone, another video that's gone very well. It's 6,000-7,000 views on that one. But just in general, the videos seem to be really striking a chord with viewers, which is fantastic to see. Don't get many of these. I've got a handful in my collection. It's a Chevron book, so good to see that. I've got more of the same planned, more Steam Deck videos. I've got more Star Wars, vintage Star Wars. I eventually got around, and I hope you've seen it, my video looking at Georges Simenon in vintage paperback. Now, what does that say? Charles Hollow. I'm not sure about that one. I'm going to take the 25p out. I'm going to leave the rest of it in, because it's quite an interesting sort of signature in that. So yeah, so the videos have been doing very well of late, which is brilliant. So thank you all for keeping me company while I make these videos. Now I just pause there. I think I need to give us a little bit more room. There we go. So we got another Guild book now. Andre Morris. He was the chap who wrote the very first Penguin book, Ariel. This is another one in dust wrapper flaps. Guild Books number 12. Look at that. It's quite nice, isn't it? It's a reprint from July 41. But with something like that, I'm absolutely fine with it being a reprint. I'm not too worried about it, per se. What's this on the back? A little bit of glue there, something like that. So yeah, I've got I've got Ed McBain in vintage paperback coming up. That's another one I'm going to be filming this week. I'm looking forward to getting all them out. I found another door that I was missing, so that's pretty good. Lewis Trimble, The City Machine. It's a fairly early one, this. Yeah, 1972, so it's from the first 100, so I'll be pleased to get that. It's got a New English Library 30p import sticker on, so which I'm going to leave on. This is one I won off eBay. I'm really pleased to get this. I've been after it for a while. It's a classic crime, John Ross MacDonald, a classic PEF cover. And the last couple I've seen on eBay have gone for between £12 and £15. And I've had it as saved search, and I eventually tracked this copy down for £6. So I didn't think that was too bad, because it's one that's been on my list for quite some time. It's part of the G series 104, quite an early one, and it is classic crime. And John MacDonald is quite collectible. And there we are, that 1958. It's nice, that, and PEF cover as well. It's a beauty. It's a beauty. And another one that's taken me a while, but I'm delighted to get it. It's the last J.G. Ballard in Penguin that I needed in first edition. So this is The Drowned World. I got a couple of the reprint ones, but there it is. Look, it's a really nice unbroken spine. That will benefit from a bit of polish, because I can almost feel a little bit of nicotine on the edge, you know. But lovely, lovely copy. And this one, once again, this one generally goes for between 12 and 15, and I got it for about half that, for about £6 on the buy it now. So very, very pleased. Look, that's absolutely immaculate, isn't it? And a key book, so that's fantastic. I was given this one for my movie tie-in collection. It's at Marnie. It's obviously Connery there. It was given to me by my friend Dave Stevens. He's a big James Bond collector, and he collects Star Wars now as well. Look at that, Sean Connery and Tippi Hedren. Definitely haven't got this in my collection. Quite an unusual one. It's the movie tie-in edition, Hodder and Stoughton. Not in the greatest of shape, but hey, it was free, and it's real classic. Real classic book, that. And I'm going to just slide a little bit of glue at the bottom of the spine there, just to stop it getting any worse, basically. Just a slither is all that's required. I might do a second slither the other side, just to make sure it's definitely down properly. So I have also recently bought a display case, and from IKEA. It's all built, got some lights in it now, and it looks fantastic. I've just popped in my Corgi Model Club cars initially. I'm going to add in my new Matchbox cars as well, and they do look really, really smart. So look out for that fairly soon. But that's that one. Give it a bit of a clean as well. Now, you may remember this one from last month's video, and it had that signature in. I think someone's left a previous owner's signature. Well, absolutely not. So many people left a comment saying that is Lawrence Ferlinghetti, that guy there, one of the modern poets. Look, there it is. He signed it. So this is actually a signed one. Lawrence Ferlinghetti, Worcester, October 1988. So it obviously came to the UK. This particular penguin rather, is from 1963, but there it is. So thanks for all the people writing. I don't know how I missed that at the time. I think I had a lot of books to go through, but forgive me. This is nice. This is one that was also on my list of Pan Books, a horror story that I had to upgrade, and I still not got them all in first, but I'm almost there. I'm just like a handful short now, but this is one of the ones which I wanted a really nice copy of, and I've finally got it at what I believe is a decent price. I think I paid £7 for this one. This is X555. So I've got my lower grade copies gone into my reading set of Pan horror stories, because once again I've put in a second set together for reading. And this is really nice. I'm very pleased with that one indeed. So I'll just give that a polish in a minute. But that's good to have that. Just a handful more. So we got another Hutchinson now, another Hutchinson library, number 11. One that I haven't got. And we'll, I think once again, because this is number 11, and there's only literally the very next book on the back. that's an almost certain way to say that this is a first edition, basically. Because there's not, 80 odd books listed on the back, which would imply that this is just a reprint, because Hutchinson were notorious for not putting decent printing histories in their books. So if it's an early one like this and it's got a very low list, then almost certainly it's the first printing in that format, of course. And last couple of vintage paperbacks, we've got some other bits to look at as well. We've got a couple of Zephyr books. Now these don't turn up very often, and I've only got a small handful of them. These were like produced for the continent, really. So these are both in dust wrappers. So as you said, this is usually how you find them. They're not usually in their dust wrappers. You usually see them like this, and they're pretty nondescript on the spine, like that. They're all numbered, and it says the Continental Book Company, Stockholm/London, and I believe these are just English language paperbacks that were produced for people on the continent to buy whilst they were on holiday, touring Europe. That's the sort of market they were looking at, and they weren't alone, because these ones did it. Toucan did it out of Germany, and also Albatross Books. So there was a few publishers who were doing it, and of course the reprint rules were a bit different on the continent. So consequently, some books were published as Zephyr in paperback before they were published anywhere else in the world in paperback. But this one had a quite deep 40 pence in, so I'm going to rub that out. But they're very well made. They're robust. The paper quality is really good. You can see they're really nice and clear. And once again, although Alan Lane modelled his Penguin books on Albatross, the Albatrosses were sort of based on these, really nice, clear, high quality publications. This one's got a nice ex-library. PVO Bartels. I wonder who he was. But it's from his library originally. It's a great title as well, Tobacco Road. And it's got a dust wrapper, which we'll have a look at now. So the red. And I'm trying to think what the different covers denoted. Was red American authors? I'm trying to remember. There's a list of Zephyr books published or in preparation, and they launched it with number 1 of Farewell to Arms. Ah yeah, look, red volumes, modern American authors. And blue, which is that one there, modern English authors. Green was classics, grey anthologies, light blue poetry and drama, and yellow detective fiction and thrillers. There you go. There you go. So it's another publisher who's doing colour coding for their paperback list. And once again, although Alan Lane made it popular, he by all means wasn't the first, And it was these trailblazers. So there's one, and this one not in quite as nice shape, unfortunately. This is a bit more typical of what you find these in. But I'll take off the wrapper, because that's a quite delicate one, this. In fact, it's been taped together just to keep it in one piece. Well, at least it still is in one piece, just about. But where the wrapper has been missing, it's caused the bottom of the book to get aged, sunned and that. Let's just see if there's anything inside here. Got a little 45 pence. But let's look at the printing. This is volume 109. So if you were holidaying abroad, you'd often come across these, even sort of in the 70s and 80s they were around, but these very much are of quite a vintage now, in the 1930s and 40s, and you don't really see them, although I've probably got maybe a dozen now, maybe a few more actually, I don't know. I've got a pile of them basically, and I've never pulled them all out to do a little video, so maybe that's something I could do, if I could find out just a little bit more about them, to be honest, because you just don't see them around very often. But that is all the vintage paperbacks. I have one vintage hardback though, so we'll just get that one out before we start brushing and polishing. And it's a kid's sort of annual style storybook. It's this one here, Mike and the Model Makers, and it was published basically to show how the Matchbox toys were being made. And I've seen these go at specialist Matchbox auctions for about £35, but being a book guy, I was able to find one for, I think I paid £7.50 for this one, which wasn't bad, I didn't think. And it's basically, it's like, it is, you know, for children, but it's basically how the Matchbox cars are made. I think it's really nice. Really, really nice sort of book. This was 1970, 71, I think. That's how they started. Yeah, first edition, January 1970. That's really nice, this one. And from what I can see, I can't see any marks in it at all. Lovely, isn't it? Really, really nice. And I thought that'd be quite a nice bit of related memorabilia to the Matchbox toys. I've been picking out ones sort of from my era, you know. But I think that's fine. It's just going to need a little rub along the top. So I think we will do the brushing part now. I think that is going to be the next step, because I've got some other stuff to show you, but it's of a newer nature. But I've also got a really nice pan promo item as well, which I wanted to share with you. So let's just run the brush along that top edge on this one, just where it might have been stood up on the shelf and picked up a bit of dust. But apart from that, there's the slightest hint. If you look at the front there and compare it to the spine, it's the slightest hint of a little bit of colour fading. Not unusual with a book like this with an orangey sort of red colour. So it's very, very important to keep something like that out of the light. Right, now let's go back to the start then, because we're going to need to do a bit of a brush off. So if I sort these into a few sort of convenient little wedges here, like so, and we'll just give these a bit of a brush just to get that initial sort of layer of dirt and stuff off these. None of them are too bad, but because they're coming to the collection for the first time, I do want to give them the once over, as I do with all my new acquisitions. I've been very much enjoying my friend Steve, the Outlaw Bookseller. He's been putting up some fantastic videos, and he's very, very close to getting to 1,000 subscribers now. So if you haven't already, do go and see Steve, the Outlaw Bookseller. He's predominantly SF, but he does some great music video ones as well. He likes the Strangler, he likes Hawkwind, a lot of groups that I like. But his SF content is very, very good, and he himself and his friends have got great collections which I think you'd enjoy looking at. So head on over to Steve, and if you've not already, do chuck him a sub, because as I said, he's at almost at 1,000, and he'll be there in no time at all. So you never know, you could be the 1,000th subscriber. How cool would that be if you saw him and he was on $9.99 and you were number 1,000? It would make his day, wouldn't it? There we are. There's quite a bit. The second one in had quite a bit of oh, that was that book of ghost stories. That was quite a tanned edge on that one, but I think we've lightened it up a bit. That lovely Captain Blood. So I've not had masses of books this month. I've just not, you know. I have picked up a few vintage Matchbox toys, which I guess I've had a lot on at work, my normal day-to-day work. So I've had quite a bit on there, and I've not really had masses of time to go scouring for new paperbacks. And the older couple that I've been buying books off, their collection is coming to an end now. I'm having to be very, very choice about what I pick up off them, because I don't want to be besieged with stuff. But I have, so the stuff that I've been picking up is basically stuff that I actually do have gaps for in my own collection, or they are definitely ones that I needed to upgrade. But I've been enjoying it. I've been reading quite a bit when I can. I've also been upgrading some Star Wars stuff, been doing a little bit of time and energy devoted to doing that, which has proved productive. had the new Steam Deck come in, which has taken quite a bit of my time getting all the emulators up and running and things like that on it. So I have been busy, I promise. Thankfully, I've had a couple of new patrons and channel members this month as well. So welcome you guys and girls. If you'd like to support the channel, there's a couple of ways you can do it now. You can do it on Patreon. Just go to patreon.com, Jules Burt. You can click the join button down below here on YouTube, and you can decide. You can do it from there's £1 or $1 a month, which would be, really, really helping the channel and help me keep all my equipment up to date and what have you. And you can even now do super thanks. So I've got super thanks activated on my channel, and that's where you can just do underneath a video, if you're watching on desktop, you can just hit the thanks button and make a one-off donation to the channel if you show desire, really. If you do like my work and want to support me and obviously get a credit as a patron in every single video, which is optional, but if you want to, you can. Do please visit one of those channels and give me your support. It will be greatly appreciated. Thank you. Here's those lovely doors, and I've got my third door video coming up. I'm going to be filming that one this week as well. I'm really looking forward to getting those out, and then I'll have one more just after that, and then I'm going to have to wait until I've got a few more additions to the collection, but because we would have seen most of it by then. But I do love the door yellow books. Speaking of other channels, nearing 1,000, my friend Gary Lavisi over in the States, he has just hit 1,000, so congratulations, Gary. Good news for him. Right, that's them all dusted. Next thing is polishing. Now, some of these, of course, will benefit from a polish. Other ones I'm not going to be able to do at all. So anything with a slightly shiny cover will be good to go. So these will be all right. That one was actually done last time, so I don't need to do that. These are all okay. This Guild one, though, I can't because it's got like a matte cover, so we won't be able to do that one. That one's okay, but that one isn't. And neither is the Hutchinson. That one will be all right. That's all that. I'll give that one in, but we won't be able to do the Guild. That one is another one we can't touch. All those. These are all just plain paper covers, you see, so if you put any polish near them, it's going to damage them. And we don't want to be doing that, do we? Of course, it does make them harder to find in nice condition, of course. That one's got its wrapper on. So all of those we're going to need to give a polish to, and these ones, these are just going to have to stay as is for the time being. Right then, so let's get the old polish out, and we'll start on this one, which should be really straightforward because it's actually in a really nice condition, this one. So it's not going to need a lot. Just sort of down the edges there. It's not mint, but it's a pretty fine example, to be honest, of a pretty nice annual, because it is like an annual, isn't it? Only a tiny little bit of wear at the top there, but that's not too bad. I guess this would have been a really great advert for Matchbox themselves, wouldn't it, back in the day? There we are. So that's really, really nice and bright. Now, while we're here doing the big stuff, I haven't got round to showing you this yet. So a friend of mine who was a book rep, he sadly passed away recently, and I was helping his widow sort some stuff out, his collection, and she said, "You like pan books, don't you?" And I said, "Yeah, I do." And she gave me this. It's just an empty pan plastic folder from back in the day. Look at that. It's an original pan folder. Really nice. I mean, I don't know really when it dates from. I guess late 70s, early 80s, mid 80s maybe. I don't know, but it's lovely. And I am indeed a pan collector, but it is a little bit dusty. So I thought I'd give it the old treatment. You see there's layers of dust in there. But because it's plastic, it'll be really easy to clean up. Nothing too difficult to do here. Just where it's picked up some dust, and this will come out really, really nice. So it's an interesting sort of promotional item for the pan collector. Certainly I was very pleased to add it to my pan collection. Very sad to see my friend passed away. Lovely, lovely chap. There we go, that's made the world of difference to that. Let's do because this is plastic, very, very easy to clean up. There we are, so it's nice and bright and red. Now we need to do the outside covers. I'm using this fairly generously because it is all plastic, so it's absolutely fine to spray it on like this. A little bit of care being taken around the pan logo. Itself, because that's in sort of gold, I don't want to rub it off. A few little marks on the front, but I guess that's, as I say, it was being used right up until recently, so there we are. That's really nice, and quite a rarity, that one. So, you know, being a sort of a staff sort of promo item, that's really, really nice. Also, I think before we do the polishing, let me show you this. So this is the latest issue of the Paperback Fanatic, and it's a one-off sci-fi special. It says Sci-Fi Volume 1, and it's from Justin Marriott. I'm sure you're familiar with that name. It's got a fantastic wraparound cover design by Bill Cunningham, which I really, really love. And here we are reading the side here. The Paperback Fanatic, a new resource dedicated to reviewing genre fiction in its many forms. Paperbacks, pulps, magazines and comics. So it's like a relaunch. So issue 1 is devoted to science fiction with reads of 70 key titles by fans of the genre. Sadly, I never got a chance to do this. I don't know quite what happened. A slight miscommunication between me and Justin, and I never got the message to say, do you want to contribute? Because I always try and add a review or two if I can. But as you can see, it's an absolute beauty, beautifully designed. Really, really like this one. And it's stacked with some classic reviews. So this has literally only just come out the last couple of weeks. So I do urge you to track down a copy if you can. They're on Amazon, so readily available, Amazon UK and US. So do hunt a copy down, because you can see it's an absolute cracker. Got some real classic stuff in there. And there is also a couple more on the way. So you've got the fantasy one, which is slated for May 2022, and the horror one for June. So look out for those quite soon, and I will of course get copies to review on the channel. But I wanted to show you that, and you know, it looks fantastic stuff. So that is also there. Right, let's get back to cleaning some of these books here. And this was that Pan Book of Crosswords. Now, I'm going to give it the polish first of all. And already some of the writing on the front is lifting a little bit, which is encouraging. Now, one of the little tricks I learned years ago, it may not work on this, but you never know, I'm going to give it a try, is, as you can see, there's still some of the writing there. It looks as if, as well as the writing on the boxes, there's also some sort of spillage, which has not come off even with the polish, which is a bit annoying. But what I was going to do was, just with the soft rubber, just dab it with a tiny bit of spit, in effect, on the front there, and then use my soft rubber on it, and sometimes that can be enough to lift it up. Well, I think it's done it a little bit. Yeah, it's done it a little bit, but not much. And you can't really put much on. But I think it has improved it a little bit. But perhaps not quite as much as I would like. Well, to be honest, I think that's probably as good as it's going to get. It's not bad, but there's like a blob of something that's on there that's not an obvious liquid, like a coffee stain or something. So something's happened there to make it even worse. But to be honest, these are pretty scarce books, so I'm not going to complain. But that's about the best I can do on that one. Now that one wasn't too bad at all. It's really just tanned, to be honest. So I'm going to give it the old 1-2. I think the spine was a bit smoky, and yeah, it's got quite a bit off already. You can sort of see it lightening up. Yeah, I think we got quite a bit off there, but that's okay. That's what we're doing it for. Now I'll just give this back cover the once over. See if I can lighten it up a little bit. There we go. Yeah, I think that's all right. Here's that copy of Marnie. Fresh bit of duster here. My duster needs to go in the wash by the look of it. Lovely. This one, just give a little wipe over. Let's get a fresh bit of cloth here. I think our duster is getting rather dirty, so I found a clean corner. To just give these a little once over. Yes, I've got some cool stuff coming up, and I hope you are still finding the videos entertaining. I've got my trip to Hay on Wye to look forward to. where we'll be covering 30 bookshops in a day. That should be pretty mental. Obviously they're not all going to be paperback related, but it'll be really great to have a look around the home of books and see if we're bound to find something in we. That is guaranteed, really. But who knows what? Hey, who knows what? That big stain on the front there is coming straight off. Now, I've loosened it, but it has still remained. That's a shame. I thought that was going to come off quite easily. Let's do the back cover. Yeah, it's really standing out. I don't know what's caused that. But it's still alright. I'm still happy to have that one. It's one that's not in the collection as is. And we did take quite a lot of dirt off that already. Let's try this edge now. This one's still in the collection under caution. We'll see how it holds up against the one that I've got in my own collection already, but I have a feeling it's actually even an improvement on the one that I've got. I just think it's a difficult one to find in nice condition. Exactly the same for this one, the 39 Steps. Another seemingly tougher one to find. That's a great book, isn't it? But a tougher early pan, it would seem. There we are. Now, just before we carry on with a bit more polishing, I have got a few other things to show you. Now, I mentioned Gary Levisi earlier. Gary's got his own channel, and he's recently had this one published by Stark House. So Stark House have been generous and sent me a few books for review, including Gary's latest one. And this is the Sherlock Holmes notebook, cornucopia of Sherlockania. Gary's a real Sherlock Holmes expert. He's even written books featuring Sherlock Holmes, pastiches, and this is really nice. I can't wait to dip into this one. I think it's going to be fantastic, looking at all aspects of Sherlock Holmes over the years. Books, radio, movies, TV. It's going to be good stuff. So I'm looking forward to reading that one this coming weekend. So look out for that one from Gary, from Stark House Press. They've also sent me this one, which is one of their Stark House noir classics, Harry Whittington, Ticket to Hell and Hell Can Wait. Looks pretty good. Got an introduction by Tom Simon from the Paperback Warrior podcast. So looking forward to getting stuck into that one. Good stuff. And they sent me one more, which is also looks fantastic. It's the Lone Wolf series. Barry Malzberg, writing as Mike Barry. It's the I think it's the first two. So this is volume 1, but it's Night Raider and Bay Prowler. So it's books 1 and 2 in the series, and there's a few of these. They have already released books 3 and 4. So although I don't know much about them, the premise is fantastic, and I think I'm going to be really looking forward to getting stuck into these as well. All right, so I'm going to do a little Stark House special on the channel quite soon, where we'll look at those 3 books in particular in a bit more detail, but also just the publisher in general, because a bit like Hard Case Crime, they have been publishing some absolutely fantastic classic stuff. So look out for that in the next couple of weeks or so, if I can squeeze them onto the channel in that time. Now, let's get these last few pan books clean. So this was, once again, just one I've already got, but it's an upgrade. So I was pleased to get it. It's a pretty nice copy. That's coming up very nice. So yeah, a bit of a shorter pickups this time round, because I've not picked up that much stuff book related. I've not had a chance to really go looking properly, and I have been picking up a few odd die-cast cards as well, and I've been doing a bit of writing, so it's all good stuff which will pay off down the line, but it has meant that I've been a little bit tied up with bits and pieces. I've got my friend Andy coming around hopefully this week. We're going to be doing another vintage bubblegum card video, and if you've not seen the two that we've put up, I think they're fantastic. Andy's knowledge is amazing, and I was really pleased to be able to share some of his collection with you. And we got a Batman one coming up, but we've already done one on 60s James Bond bubblegum cards, and we've done one on 60s TV spies and sleuths. And we've got some ideas for some more even non-bubblegum related stuff coming up, which should be pretty cool. So look out for those. I'm filming another one of them this week with a bit of luck. I also was able to feature my friend Gary's Marvel collection. Gary and I go back a long way, literally decades I've known him, and we've been friends for that long. And Gary collects vintage Marvel memorabilia, and he's got a whole room full of it, along with all the key comic books. So do check that one out if you haven't already. It is absolutely mind-blowing what Gary's got in his vintage Marvel collection. It's just superb. As I said, it's been quite a busy old time on the channel, and it's certainly been it's even been a job keeping up with all the comments coming in at the moment. It's just been a lot happening, which is great news. It's really, really good. So thank you for your continued support. There we are. So let's just give this last lovely door a shake, and we will be there. Absolutely awesome. So thank you very, very much for watching today. I do appreciate it. I love these little monthly catch-ups and cleaning videos, and gives me a chance to just go through all the stuff with you. If you've enjoyed today's video, please don't forget to give it the thumbs up. Do please hit the subscribe button if you're not already for regular vintage paperback content, and I'll be seeing you soon with another video. Bye.